All right, we're back and we're going to talk about just some different types of reaches, what they look like. So here's a Cascade Reach. It's also called a waterfall or a hydraulic jump, typically made up of really large boulders with a slope of 4 to 25%, and they're rapidly flushed. Very little sediment accumulates on a waterfall. This is a step pool reach. It's slightly lower slope, but still very steep, and you get these really rapid steps down. So often find channels spanning boulders and logs and step pool reaches, and these things trap and retain sediment, little mini dams. So again, usually high up in the watershed, you find step pool reaches. Then at between 1 to 4% slope, you get what are called plain bed reaches. They're long, straight channels. They tend to be uniform and relatively shallow, and you don't typically find channel spanning structures, just lots of rocky habitat. Now we get what we've already talked about a little bit, pool riffle reaches. These are often more sinuous in their channel shape. Again, we talked about pools and riffles and how they develop over time and how they scour at the outside bends. So the pools form on cut banks and the riffles form at crossover areas between the pools and bars. And then the last kind of reach is called a braided channel reach. And this is where you have a high slope and high stream power with very coarse bed materials. And so you get a lot of movement, and you get, these are both pictures from Alaska, and you get kind of meandering, but not just that, but like breaking apart and coming back together in these braided channels. This is a picture from the Crystal River Rapid on the Colorado River. And so what's really fun about rapids is that they're often formed where a side canyon comes in and deposits a lot of material. And so what's interesting about Crystal Rapid, you can see a picture of it from today, the small one up here, not today, but a while ago. And this is an old picture from the 60s. From the 80s, in June of 1980. And you can see there's little people out here, lots of little people. It gives you a sense of the scale of the huge flood that came down. So in 1980, there was the dam was just filling up. The Glen Canyon Dam was just filling up, and the snow, there was a big snow event and a rapid melt, and the dam started filling. And in fact, it started overfilling. They had to put plywood barriers up at the top of the dam to keep the water back. Well, of course, this caused a huge flood down the Grand Canyon. It also caused huge floods down most of the side channels, and Crystal Creek was no exception. This massive debris flow came down into the Grand Canyon from Crystal Creek and deposited this huge debris flow and altered the rapid, basically, in a day. And it became much more dangerous and technical. In fact, they had to basically close the river to rafters because the rapid was so treacherous. And so this just shows you how rapids form and how big flood events can cause massive changes to a system like the Colorado River. Crystal is now probably, well, it's not the most dangerous. It's one of the most technical. It's still one of the most technical rapids in the Grand Canyon. All right, so that's the end, and we'll see you next time.